Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our Islands of Coherence month-long intensive. It's really wonderful to be with all of you here today. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are on the planet right now. We're really excited that you chose to commit this month to cultivating greater heart coherence in the heart of your life. And this month-long intensive is designed to empower us to attune more deeply to this natural state of coherence that we are, and to claim it, and to increase our capacity to sustain it through this precarious and potentiated moment in our evolutionary story. And to use our collective commitment and capacity to sustain that and join together and consciously pulse the planet with our coherence, with our love, with our care, our compassion, our gratitude. And we're learning from all of the speakers and our guest Heartist that this is not just a nice idea. If we make a commitment to being a coherent presence on this planet, and we leverage the power of our collective heart, we can and we will transcend our current crisis and co-create a future that is in harmonious relationship to the whole of life, because that is our natural state when we're in coherence. And it takes commitment and it takes practice to rise above the collective layers of fear and reaction so rampant now on the planet. And in my experience, it can be challenging to sustain this level of commitment alone. And yet, together in a coherent field, like we are co-creating in this intensive, we are capable of so much more. And I know we've already begun to feel it in the different pulse sessions that we had on our Global Coherence Day on August 1st. Last week when we had Greg Braden and Marshall Lefferts. And here today with our guest Jude Currivan. We have Jane Corbett. And our guest Heartist today is Kristin Hoffmann. And I'm really excited that we have this kind of group of women that are going to be guiding us today into a very deep and sacred space so that we can be in the practice of coherence today. And we hope that this intensive is inspiring you not only to be in the practice when we're on these calls together, but that we're noticing what we're feeding the field more and more in different moments throughout the day. And we're choosing in those moments to tune in, to connect in with our hearts, which we can do right now. Just really bringing our attention to the center of our heart, to our being. To be conscious of our breath. Really holding that space throughout this event today, through these 2 hours. And let's let a feeling of gratitude emerge in our hearts right now for showing up here today, for choosing to be a coherent presence on the planet. Have gratitude for yourself. And let's send a wave of gratitude to each other. Because doing this together provides us everything that we need to overcome this challenging moment in time and to come into harmonious relationship with the whole of life. The whole of life. It's our natural state. So I'm going to invite my sister and partner, Claudia Wells, who's the co-founder of the Global Coherence Pulse with me. And she's going to share a little bit more about what we're doing with the pulses and introduce our beautiful guest today. Claudia, It's wonderful to have you on, spotlighting your video.
Thank you, Teresa. That was beautiful. I feel like we've already started pulsing. I am going to share my screen. Hopefully this will go very smoothly. Can you see my slides? Great. Okay, well, what happens here is that I am going to do our usual quick orientation for those joining us for the first time, because we always have new people. And it'll take about 10 minutes. So if you've seen this before and you feel like you've got it, now's the perfect time to get that cup of tea. One way I like to think about the Global Coherence Pulse is as an ongoing crowdsourcing platform that, instead of financial currency, crowdsources the coherent energetic currents of love, gratitude, compassion, and other regenerative emotions to create a tipping point in collective consciousness for the benefit of all life. As a free and open citizen science initiative and social collaboration, we represent a meta network of aligned communities and organizations committed to building heart coherence as an intentional social function, and a scientific collaboration to demonstrate the real world effects of our coherent pulses with our science partners, including the HeartMath Institute and the Institute of Noetic Sciences, and supported by technology, including HeartMath's free Global Coherence app, as well as a collaborative network of global monitors and sensors that combined allow us to track the coherence we're building individually and that we're contributing collectively to the global field. The app's not required to pulse the planet with us. All we need is your heart. But if you want to take your participation in the Citizen Science Initiative to the next level, please learn about the app and an optional personal sensor on HeartMath's Global Coherence Initiative website. Last week, we started migrating from the global group on the app that we used to use to our own Global Coherence Pulse group, so we can start tracking the heart coherence that we're generating in our pulses. If you already have the app installed and you're logged in, I'll show you the quick steps for finding and joining our group. More detailed instructions will be on the Pulse website and on our Islands of Coherence virtual retreat space, so no worries, you can always do this later. First, from the welcome screen, click the Join Group button on the bottom left. I'll give you a second to navigate there. On the next screen, you'll see a number of public groups listed. Scroll down to the Global Coherence Pulse public group and tap it to select. At the next screen, click Add This Group on the bottom. Now you'll be taken back to the welcome screen. And if you scroll down to the heading My Groups, you'll find the Global Coherence Pulse public group listed on the bottom. It looks like this. Just tap it to select it. Next, you'll be taken to the Join Session screen where you can tap on Join Session at the top. And then you'll be taken into the session room, which has two views. One is an artistic visualization of Earth with a field of coherence around it that varies with the levels of coherence we generate. Or you can swipe left for a quantitative analysis of coherence levels generated by those of us with sensors connected. If you don't have a sensor, you can still see your heart presence being counted as your device shows your location on the map by clicking Map on the upper right. And there you will be with everyone else whose presence is being counted. When you exit the session, you'll be taken back to the Pulse page with the Join Session button on the top, where you can see numerical scores of the accumulated coherence that those of us with sensors have generated, so we can actually watch our community's skill building. So what is this thing that we're measuring? We're going to be hearing a lot more about it today from our speakers. But for this orientation, just remember that coherence always implies order, harmony, connection, a dynamic stability, and the efficient use of energy in a system at every scale. In human systems, coherence is a measurable state, indicating optimal performance and well-being, an alignment of mind, body, and emotions, characterized by an ease and flow in life processes. When this coherence is driven by the heart, it's called heart coherence. And this is probably the most important slide because you can understand the difference between coherence and the lack of it just by looking at it. These are two heart rhythm patterns based on plotting heart rate variability, or the space between heartbeats. On the right is a coherent heart rhythm pattern that naturally emerges when we experience feelings of love, gratitude, appreciation, compassion, any authentic regenerative emotion. On the left is an incoherent heart rhythm pattern, or more tellingly, no pattern at all. Characteristic of frustration and feelings of disharmony, and common in ordinary consciousness because of the common stresses and demands of ordinary life. When this response to life becomes chronic, though, it can become our default pattern. And what we know now is we have choice. On the right is the heart signaling connection, well-being, and flow. On the left, disconnection and nervous system chaos. Coherence is actually considered to be the physiological signature of love at the core of the human system. That's capital L, love. And it's this coherent waveform pattern that we'll be intending to pulse the planet with together. Because each heartbeat produces electricity, the heart generates a powerful magnetic field that communicates the levels of our coherence, not just to every cell of our own bodies, but also to the social and planetary bodies we belong to. Besides being connected through quantum entanglement and whatever other ways, we're connected to each other and Earth through Earth's electromagnetic field environment, which is why the Global Coherence Initiative and Pulse ask us to notice what we're feeding the field and make a conscious choice as a strategy for world change. We have confidence in this strategy for many reasons, including that it's been scientifically demonstrated that in complex systems far from equilibrium, as our world is now, small islands of coherence can shift the entire system to a higher order. And because decades of research suggests that small groups of coherent individuals have more power to affect the global field than large groups of meditators that don't have coherence at the core. When we come together for our synchronized pulses, we're contributing to scientific evidence of effects on a growing global network of sensors and metrics that correspond with our coherent pulses to help science tell a new story of our profound interconnectedness. Like Global Coherence Initiative's global network of ultra-sensitive magnetometers. Can we find evidence of our coherence reflected in Earth field fluctuations? Or GCI's Global Consciousness Project, whose global network of random number generators have shown over the last few decades that collective love and compassion have greater effects on these physical devices than the energies of fear. Social metrics. Do we see evidence of increased care, compassion, and resilience in society over time? And a future network of tree monitors giving voice to nature by exploring if the electrical potentials of trees respond to mass coherence building events. These sensor networks are being observed to correlate with our planetary pulses, and we think these experiments will demonstrate that our coherence, our love and gratitude, our compassion, not just the acts they inspire, but the coherent heart energy itself, moves the world. Observing these kinds of global effects requires a synchronized pulse of coherence, and that's what we're doing together. But it's the coherence that we embody in the course of our normal daily lives that will make the greatest difference. And speaking of making a great difference, I'm now going to pass it over to today's hosts. We have Kristin Hoffmann, a conscious musician and composer from New York who dedicates her music to opening empowered spaces. Cosmologist Dr. Jude Currivan, author of The Cosmic Hologram and co-founder of Whole Worldview. And speaker and futurist Jane Corbett, facilitator of leadership practices for planetary transformation. We are so grateful to have this team with us today to bring us into our pulse. And Kristin, I'm going to say thank you for taking us away.
Thank you, Claudia. There is a song that we all know as we all play parts in this universal, note by note and bit by bit, our symphony of consciousness. Have we forgotten harmony is holographic and complete? Fear by fear we've been making choices, feeling the dissonance of our voices. Believe and you will see. Into greatness calls our being. Feel the information rearranging for our worldview healing. Sing in unity. Time is the universal thought. Space is the breath of who we are. Co-creators in the music. Our awareness is the tuning. Just as ones and zeros speak the language of technology, we are the manifested glory of our information story. Believe and you will see. Into greatness calls our being. Feel the information rearranging for our worldview healing. Sing in unity. Cosmic hologram, hold it in your hands. You are one with all, like a shining gem on the strings. Our godly instrument playing out our universal. Believe and you will see. Into greatness calls our being. Feel the information rearranging for our worldview healing. Believe in our being. Feel the information rearranging for our worldview healing. Sing in unity. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's
And
everyone that's out there listening right now, let us just pulse a wave of love to Kristin right now.
wow, I feel the love with a capital L. So much gratitude. What a truly special space we are cultivating here.
Yeah.
Wow. And to just bring the magic and the coherence to even a higher harmony and resonance, I am going to turn this beautiful, bright energy ball of light over to Jude Currivan.
Thank you. Thank you, dearest Kristin and dearest Claudia and Teresa and everyone that's with us in this beautiful co-creative field of coherence. Universe soul. We have now the best, most expansive scientific evidence ever that our universe and we is not just fundamentally interconnected, but essentially exists and evolves as a unified entity, where its appearance of diversity emerges, its appearance of energy and matter and space and time emerge from deeper levels of cosmic consciousness, of cosmic intention and causation. A universe that essentially doesn't have consciousness, but is consciousness, where mind and consciousness aren't something we have, but what we and the whole world are. And our universe as a universe soul, a multidimensional entity, a great thought form in the infinite and eternal mind of the cosmos. And we're now realizing that, as Kristin so beautifully sung, that the fundamental stuff of what we call our universe is more profound than energy and matter and space and time. It's consciousness expressed as meaningful information. The ones and zeros of Kristin's song are a universal alphabet of just 2 letters. But from those 2 letters, words and notes and meaning are co-created. The universe soul truly that exists and evolves as a unified entity where it's profoundly whole beyond the inner signaling of light, the inner signaling that has a speed limit to it, a wholeness that's aware of itself on every level, from the most minute to its entirety, at every moment of its existence and evolution. And it's that non-local wholeness that we are able to access, to tap into, to align with, to attune with. It offers us a natural coherence, and it imbues us with supernormal powers, because our intuition, telepathy, remote viewing, our ability to come together and co-create fields of coherence on non-local levels are natural within this emergent understanding of unity, of wholeness, of a whole world view. And its story, its universal, multidimensional story, begins 13.8 billion years ago, not in a big bang, which wasn't big, and it wasn't a bang, it was minute, and yet the seed of everything that would come and evolve and grow and experience beyond that. As simple as it could be, but no simpler. And instead of exploding in a bang, no, that first moment 13.8 billion years ago was the first moment of a big breath, an ongoing big breath, an out breath. The ancients, wisdom teachers understood this. They understood the name of breath, the word for breath, is the same as the word of spirit for spirit. Our universe literally, as Kristin says in her song, sings, time is our universe thinking. Space expanding is our universe breathing. And it was so exquisitely set up from the very beginning in its birthing simplicity that our universe doesn't just exist, it evolves from simplicity to complexity. It is so exquisitely set up that it has this inbuilt, this embedded, this literally embodied impulse to evolve. And what I'd like to share now is a little bit of that story, because for us at Whole World View, our service is to help serve the understanding, experiencing and embodying of unity awareness, and unity expressed in radical diversity. And for us to fully step into that adventure, we invite people, we invite everyone today to think cosmic in this way, to feel global and to act local. So we have the ongoing integrative breath of the all and the we and the me and the me and the we and the all. So I'd like to share this incredible, miraculous, extraordinary, exquisite journey that our universe has been on for 13.8 billion years, multidimensionally, where archetypal intelligence and elemental intelligences have guided its onward evolutionary impulse, and where we can access its multidimensional wisdom, as we can access our own intuitive insights, our own coherent, natural, innate relationship with the entirety of our universe, its realms, and also our beloved Mother Earth. So our universe was actually sung into being as a universe soul, but also as a unique verse. For its first epoch, it was way, way, way too hot for light, for it to be transparent to light, but it was transparent to sound. So just as the ancient wisdom teachings of Vedic India talk about the primordial Om, singing the breath of our universe into being, as cosmologists, we've discovered that that's literally the way that our universe began. For its first nearly 400,000 years, sound pulsed through the entirety of space. Tiny ripples of sound pulsed through space, all of space. Literally that primordial Om. And those pulses of sound clustered the earliest of matter into what would become hundreds of millions of years later the first stars and galaxies. And when that primordial Om completed, after nearly 400,000 years, by then everything was a bit cooler, space was expanding, and then there was light. And light came in an incredible flash that again opened up space, flashed, lighted the whole of space. But then things went dark. And it was as though our universe became a womb for its potential, its possibilities to come. So 200 million years beyond then, the first stars began to fall and light up the sky, light up space again, and thereby began an ongoing journey that went through generations of stars, galaxies, so that after almost 9 billion years, all the stars that had lived and died to that point had then seeded the interstellar medium with nutrients, with elements. And those clouds of nutrients were the birthing clouds of solar systems and planets such as our own. And so 5 billion years ago, the interstellar birthing cloud that we were born from, that Mother Earth was born from our entire solar system was born from, began to take its next chapter of the ongoing evolutionary impulse of our universe soul. And as it came into being, our solar system became a matrix of consciousness, literally a solar system, with its central sun, Sol, and Earth's moon, Luna. Again, as wisdom teachings have said, the father, the mother of Gaia, a trinity relationship that's enabled through the heat and the light and all of that nurturing for Gaia to become the home of organic life. And she's been able to do so because she's in a perfect position within our solar system for water, liquid water, to cover her surface as it did in the very beginning and does now for so much of her surface. Gaia is a water planet, and we're here because she is a water planet. All her organic life that she has nurtured for the last 4 billion years now has been able to evolve itself from simplicity to complexity because of water and because of all the other elemental nutrients that were born in stars billions of years ago, nurtured in interstellar clouds, and then gifted to Gaia from her very birth. She was gifted with these cosmic wonders that enabled her to give birth to her organic children and eventually to us. So with a very big picture of thinking cosmic, perhaps we can feel into ourselves as children, yes, of the cosmos, and also children of Gaia. And when we think of Gaia, when we consider Gaia, she is a sentient being, again, multidimensional levels, elemental levels, angelic levels, archetypal levels, and her organic children. And we often talk about her atmosphere, her hydrosphere, her waters, her geosphere, her rocks, and her biosphere. But perhaps we can begin to consider the Gaia-sphere. And instead of just seeing ourselves as human beings, as we feel global, we can also consider ourselves Gaians. We are Gaians. And I'd like to share some words with you that came to me earlier this year for Mother's Day, the day that we all celebrate once a year to honor our mothers. And for us, perhaps every day now, to be more conscious of honoring our mothers, our human mothers, but also our first mother, Gaia. So I invite, if you'd like, to close your eyes and just be in that heart-centered, coherent connection with Gaia and all her other children as I speak these words into the field.
Hey, Jude, just one moment. Would you be sure to just speak loud enough? Because some people are having a little hard time. So just as you're doing this beautiful piece.
Thank you, Claudia, and I will. How's that?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, everyone. So Mother's Day 2020. You made me with stardust gathered from ancient suns. You bore me in your primordial belly through long aeons of possibility. You birthed me naked and squalling, slippery with life's promise. You smiled as I squirmed in the dawn of a new day, lit by kindness. You gentled me as I swaddled into the comfort of your breasts. You grew me strongly with plant and fish, milk and meat. You taught me to know you and to know myself through you. You have always loved me. Thank you. I love you. And remembering the primordial Om that sang our universe soul into its being, and honoring Father Soul for guiding our entire solar system through its journey, our journey of evolution to this point. I invite Kristin with her beautiful, inspirational music to take us forward.
So beautiful, Jude. This Solome piece will be brand new. It has never been explored before. And I want to invite you in this coherent field to send your loving intentions into this portal. And I will be bringing through our co-creative song expression into this moment. Okay. that breathes us. We are this life that feeds us. We are the stars that bore us through your womb of light. We are so bright, brighter than we know. Let us grow Gaia. Oh, we're singing out Gaia. Oh, we're singing out Gaia. Oh, we're singing out Mother, Mother, Mother. May we remember to love one another. We are not alone. 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 We're in this pose. We're in this pose. We're in this moment. We're in this pose. We're in this pose. We're in this pose. This pose of love. This pose of love.
Pulse is a sound from the beginning of the universe. Pulse is a sound and light bringing us into being. The sound of Kristin's voice still echoing in our ears. Feeling gratitude for this moment now that we share. So deepening the coherence between us and the pulse we're sending out. Let's move into a meditation. And some of the time I'll be speaking. And some of the time I'll go silent, so that you can feel what you're feeling, experience what you're experiencing, sense what's happening. The Hopi people from Arizona brought forth a letter at the beginning of the 21st century, their millennial letter. And within this, they said, there is a river now flowing very fast. There will be those that cling to the bank, and they will feel torn apart. Push off now into the middle. Look around and see who else is there with you. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. So coming together in this moment now with our intention to send a coherent pulse into the planet's field. Perhaps we already are, perhaps to deepen that pulse and sustain it. Coming first into your inner field, your inner world. Find a way to be sitting in a way that allows the energy to run along your spine, flowing freely within you. And then feeling your feet upon the floor or the ground where you sit. This ground, this place where you are, the earth beneath your feet, the earth being this planet that we all share, us all sitting on the same earth, here, now, this planetary home. And then moving up from your feet to your legs and your torso, to your heart center. And slowing your breathing down a little. Breathing in, out. Breathing in and out. Slowly. So that your heart tunes into a rhythm of coherence. And moving up to your head, still breathing slowly in and out, becoming aware of the ceiling or the sky above your head. The sky that we all share. The field that surrounds and permeates the earth that we all share. The atmosphere beyond us. And beyond that space. Here, now. We are in the cosmos. We are of the cosmos. We are the evolution of the cosmos. And both being in that sense of thinking and feeling cosmic, come back again to your heart, breathing in, breathing out, with gratitude for the gift of life. And as our hearts become even more coherent, each of us is sending a pulse out. And those pulses connect up. We can begin to feel there is a collective field, a coherent collective field, like an ocean of coherence. And as the field between us, wherever we might be, strengthens, together, we are sending a pulse to the global field that helps it in turn to shift to an even higher level of coherence. Coherence surrounding the earth, surrounding this planet. Radiating to us wherever we sit. And radiating out into space. And imagining ourselves both being the creators of this coherence and bathed within it. So that it becomes so strong that others are touched by it. And knowing that we can sustain this. It's not just for these special times of meditation. It's for the everyday moments, in amongst all the challenges. When we can come back to our heart, on our sense of gratitude for being here now, for being alive now, for being here more than 13 billion years after the universe began singing the story. So feeling a gratitude for what we can make happen together and our courage to do that. And gratitude to all those who have dreamt, researched, imagined what might become possible at moments like this. Let's draw this meditation to a close, but staying with this being, flowing on to the next piece of music, the next happening from Kristin.
Thank you. Thank you. So important to remember that we are water beings and water is life, just as Jude was sharing so beautifully. And now I will be passing back to Jude. Thank you.
Thank and bless you, Kristin. That was so beautiful. And thank you, dear Jane. That was just such a wonderfully powerful presencing of our third heart.
Hey, Jude, why don't we just take this moment to have everybody that's with us. There's people watching on Facebook, there's people right here on the Zoom line, and then there's others in our Islands of Coherence network. And let's take a moment to send Jude and Jane and Kristin just this wave of love that they have helped us generate before we move into the next segment of our session. Let's just really let them take in our gratitude, our appreciation.
The hydrogen in water is as old as the universe. As old as the universe. And the water, our waters on Gaia, half of our waters on Gaia are older than our solar system. When we bathe, when we swim in the ocean, we're actually bathing in primeval, primordial essence of our universal story. And water has memory. As we swim, as we float, as we tickle our toes in water, as we drink water, that is a connection of coherence with the whole of Gaia and the whole of our universe. The waters inside us are not the same as our waters in our oceans now. The waters inside us are the ancient composition of some of the earliest waters on Gaia. And the hydrogen in that water, as old as the universe, is also in our DNA. Our DNA, our genetic makeup, has memory that goes right back to the very first moments of the big breath. We are children of the cosmos. We are children of our universe soul. We are children of Gaia. And crucially, we are microcosmic co-creators of its great and evolving thought. Everything in existence has meaning and purpose. Everything. So all that long journey of our multidimensional universe soul has meaning and purpose. We have now the best evidence ever that our universe exists and evolves as a unified entity, literally a cosmic hologram. And just as a hologram, every part reflects every other part. The whole is expressed in the many, and the many are integral aspects, reflections, fractals of the whole. For each of us, when we act local, we're also connected to that wider, grander field of coherence still. So for us to feel global and think cosmic, we're able to remember our heritage, our lineage, who we are. And in these turbulent times of perhaps birthing a Homo Universalis, a conscious evolutionary journey for us, that remembering, that healing of our fragmentations can bring us into that embodiment of wholeness, of unity in radical diversity. Every single one of us is unique, and yet we're all part of this common family we call Gaia. The universe is so creative. Every tree on every leaf on every tree is different. Every snowflake, every ice crystal of water is different. Each of us is different, and yet we are part of this commonality of consciousness. And we too are existing and evolving as part of our universe, as an intrinsic part of our universe's evolutionary impulse. We're talking about pulses and coherent pulses. Our universe evolves as a pulse of coherence, from simplicity to complexity, and ever greater levels of individuated self-awareness, to planets and plants and people. When we act local, our hands are conjoined with our hearts and our heads to integrate, to bring into embodiment our understanding and experiencing of oneness, of wholeness, of unity. So perhaps in each of our days, in each of our ways, every moment offers us, invites us to step into that empowered, inspired embodiment of who we really are. Microcosmic co-creators of the evolutionary impulse of our universe soul. Each and every one, each and everything in existence with meaning and purpose. And we stand now in these turbulent times of breakdown and breakthrough, literally at the bow wave of our universe's evolutionary edge. The past is the journey we can trace back 13.8 billion years. The future is a future that is co-created at all scales of our universe soul's innate intelligence and yearning to evolve. We stand together at this moment with Gaia, with our solar system, with our universe. This is our moment of choice. This is our moment to choose, to think cosmic, to feel local, to act, feel global, to act local. We talk often about waking up and growing up and cleaning up because the misunderstanding, the illusion of separation has fragmented our perspectives of the wholeness, the true wholeness of all that is. But we're waking up from this dream of separation that's become a nightmare to realize, to remember the oneness of all that is, expressed in amazing, abundant, glorious diversity. And as we do, as we heal ourselves from those old traumas that have outlived their use, we can then show up. And when, as we are doing, we show up together, we can link up and lift up. We can co-create coherence, super coherence. We can access our supernormal powers of intuition. We can go deeper into our own hearts, but also open our hearts into the universal heart. This is our moment of choice. And we're here together. We're here in the universal heart. We have now a science of love. We know how this thing works. We have a cosmology of consciousness. We have all we need to remember and to link up, to lift up, and invite each other on this next journey, this next chapter of this incredible journey of discovery. Our next steps of adventure and the evolution of our consciousness, so that we can, instead of being plunderers of Gaia's abundance, we can become stewards. We can become pollinators of her joyful abundance. And we can actually stand with her as co-evolutionary partners in this continuing, glorious adventure of consciousness. just breathing into that remembrance of acting local and feeling global and thinking cosmic, the me, to expand our spiral of compassion to the we, and to expand it further to the all, to breathe out and breathe in. I invite Teresa and Claudia to take us forward. And again, my whole heart of gratitude to Kristin and Jane in being with me today and with all of us today.
Mm. Thank you so much, Jude. That was so beautiful. You can see the comments in the chat. There's like, yes, yes, yes. Can you guys hear me okay? It sounded like when I was sending some blessings to all of you that it was quite incoherent. Kristin, I know that we didn't plan for you to do another song, but I wonder if you'd like to, because we have some time. If you'd like to do that.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's so
and
funny that you say this because I was getting that feeling that this would happen, and I thought, if there was another invitation to play, what would it be? And this song, I think, is the perfect way to just express my deepest love and gratitude at this point. I wrote this piece when I went to play at the late Dr. Emoto's memorial concert in Tokyo a few years back. And a couple weeks before I went, I knew that I wanted to bring through a piece. And I had his beautiful love and gratitude water crystal that he photographed. He literally took a photograph of water that had been exposed to the sentiments of love and gratitude. And after taking thousands and thousands of photographs of all different kinds of water exposed to different sentiments, he said when he saw this water crystal picture emerge, it was the most beautiful, perfect, golden formed crystal he had ever seen. And in that moment, it was this immediate recognition that the energies of love and gratitude are the most important high vibration energies for us to focus on in this lifetime. So as we've been so beautifully diving in to this idea of water and love and coherence, let's share some love and gratitude. Okay. Let's see. Love and gratitude, golden flower in bloom, bring us peace tonight, flow from me to you. Words of purest light, when we lose the call, there's nothing more to do than call on you. Love and gratitude. And when we start to fall, and when we lose the call, there's nothing more to do than call on you. Love and gratitude. When we forget to see our soul's deep mystery, there's nothing more to do than call on you. Love and gratitude. Love and gratitude. My deepest love and gratitude.
My deepest love and gratitude.
Love and gratitude to everyone
Love and gratitude to
shared
everyone
with us in this space today.
shared with us in this space today.
Teresa.
The feeling, I have a feeling my mic might be off again. Is that right? Is my sound okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm having some
I think it's
issues.
mine as well. I don't know, something.
It's mine as well. I don't know, something. Yeah. Somebody said my sound's not good. Is that correct? Kristin's fine.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, we raised the coherence and it's affecting the audio, someone said. So can you let me know, is mine okay? Because I don't want to talk if it's not okay. Okay. All right. My computer is really having a hard time today, and I think it's because there's just so much love pulsing through. It just can't handle it. You know, our physical technology, these bodies actually can handle more and more and more. And I could feel it today. There was a moment, I think, Kristin, when you were doing one of your songs, and Jane, while you were doing the meditation, another time, Jude, I felt like, boy, I had to open more to let more love out, right? So as we create this communion together, this field, which is so powerful. We need to actually like open up more to let the field, which is love, be able to permeate through us more and more and more. And it's that quality of coherence. It's our ability to let the love radiate from every oscillating cell of our being that has the power to change everything. And it doesn't take many of us. What we're doing today has a huge impact on our nervous systems, on our immune systems, on our environments, on our loved ones, on the earth, and really on the whole of life. Yeah.
Teresa,
Yeah.
I think I'm still spotlighted. I think it would be perfect to see you as you're speaking. As much as I love being here and I love you all. There we go.
Yeah. So I actually would like to move around a little bit and have some closing words by each of you beautiful women, and just how you're feeling right now, and words for the community. And then once we complete that, then I'll do some announcements for what we have coming up after this. But really, I'm really so grateful for what we experienced today. I can really feel it. Yeah, I can really feel it. So Claudia, how about if we start with you? I'm gonna ask you to turn on your camera. Yeah.
Your wish is my command.
These are good tears.
How's my audio?
Good.
Okay. Oh, you realize how important breathing is in moments like this,
Yeah.
when the feeling is so strong. And listening to the whole world view, I feel certain that we are entering or have already entered a new age in which humanity is waking up to our superpower, Jude, of embodied coherence. It has the power to create super coherence, coherent systems within coherent systems. So I'm reminded that just hiding beneath the structures of our ordinary awareness is our potential for greater coherence. And that, as we say at the Pulse, it's our birthright, but we have to claim it. We're encoded with it, as is nature, but we have to activate it in ourselves to become coherent with nature's frequency. And when we do, not only do we benefit, but so does all of life. So to hear a cosmologist speak of the power of the human heart and the science of love, as we just heard, and to feel what we felt with Kristin singing and with Jane bringing us into such profound meditation, we can add the voice of astrobiologist Dr. Bruce Damer, whose path-breaking scientific work in the origins of life has shown him that creating coherence through tools for healing our separation is the most important work of the 21st century. And if we take all of this to heart, it really elevates the importance of what we're talking about and of what we're experiencing together as a strategy for world change. So let's just really let it anchor in as we go about our normal lives when this pulse is over. And thank you, Kristin, Jude, Jane, and Teresa, for another really beautiful, profound pulse.
Thank you, Claudia. Jane, I'm going to go to you next. That was a beautiful meditation. Thank you so much for your presence and your voice, and just wondered if you'd like to share some words with the community.
Yes, a couple of things that are coming to my mind, and that is a moment like now is a very special moment. And it gives us a reference point so that we don't need to beat ourselves up if we're not feeling totally coherent in every moment as we go about our daily lives. And the trick is not to feel bad about that, but to have the power to recover and get back into that coherence when we've lost it, and then get better and better at sustaining it. And I don't know about you, but it's a work in progress for me every day. But in the company of others, it gets a whole lot easier. And then the other thing I feel moved to say is to really pick up on a phrase that Jude used several times, which is, we are children of Gaia. And I like it because it brings us to a state of humbleness and a realization of what it's taken to bring us into being and what it takes for our lives to be sustained. But there's another way we can look at it, which I think echoes something Claudia was saying, which is that this is the moment for the maturation of our species. Though we don't think of ourselves as children at all. We think of ourselves taking a huge evolutionary leap that maybe more than any past civilization, we can bring together our capacity for love, the expansion of our consciousness, and the kinds of technologies that really work for us and with us to create a much better civilization on this planet, which all can share and which honors Gaia and rejoices in being part of it, so that we can look around in a very practical way and reimagine how everybody gets access to water, how we organize our food and agricultural systems, how we educate our children and ourselves throughout our lives, how we help those in acute poverty and those forced to migrate, how we look after our health and well-being, and how we work with music and other ways of celebrating existence and bringing joy together. So we can both be very coherent in a meditative way, but we can also be supremely practical in reimagining what's possible and then having the courage to just go for it together.
Yes. Beautifully said, Jane. Beautifully said. Somebody in the chat said, I'm ready for women to lead with the heart, which you just demonstrated so beautifully. Kristin, I'm going to go to you next. I know I was saying early on, and all of the Heartists that we bring on that we love to bring in their music, but I also find that there's so much wisdom. They're thought leaders, and so anything you'd like to share from your heart with the community, we'd love to hear.
Well, I'm just feeling so much gratitude to be in this co-creative space of deep coherence. And, well, every time I have this opportunity to weave with Jude, Jude, hearing your deep wisdom, and Jane during the meditation, wow. It's amazing how we can weave together, and how the arts, I find as a musician, it's every single time I have this opportunity to weave with speakers and wisdom keepers, I realize again and again, oh wow, the arts and speaking and wisdom, they all go hand in hand. And I'm feeling that again now. The flow that we're in, the space of depth, the space of love. It is such a gift to be in this place where we are remembering our connection to the Gaia sphere, to the cosmos, to each other. When we are in this space of remembering that how we intend and internalize and visualize ourselves in the world, both as individual holographic parts and as a whole working system, as Jude was saying. The more we do this, the more we practice coming together in this space, and practice, we amplify this coherence every single time. It's just like practicing my instrument throughout life. You can't just get on a piano and understand it. It takes each time of sitting down to practice. So thank you. Thank you for holding this beautiful container so that we can practice our ability to amplify coherence. Gratitude.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Claudia, as well. This has been spectacular.
And your instrument is so glorious. I get tears every time, and I know everybody was moved by the presence and the radiation of love that you naturally are. So just thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Really beautiful. And Jude, I love you guys. You're just all so beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, bless you, my dears. Well, again, as Kristin has said, so much love and gratitude, and perhaps one other sense as well. First of all, I just like to perhaps suggest that because our beliefs drive our behaviors, the illusion of separation that we've bought into have driven our dysfunctional behaviors. And just as perhaps the most natural outcome of separation is conflict, the most natural outcome of unity, of wholeness, is peace. And in a sense, where there's separation, there can't be love, and where there's love, there's no separation. So this remembering that we've been exploring and feeling and experiencing today has been so profound as we grow up and while still recognizing that we are born of Gaia to take our place as stewards and co-evolutionary partners with her going forward. And just a final sense, all waves, all vibrations, of course everything is vibration, which is why we are able to be coherent, where our waves come together, our peaks match our peaks, our troughs match our troughs. And every wave is a trinity of expression. It grows, it peaks, it falls away till its next expression. And the ancient I Ching talks about in the beginning is the one, and the one becomes two, and the two becomes three. And from the three, 10,000 things are born. And so for me, love and gratitude. And I'd suggest a third, which is joy. And whenever I'm in Kristin's presence and Jane's and all of our presence, I feel the love, I feel the gratitude. And the tears I shed are tears of joy. So thank you everyone for this wonderful opportunity to be together and realize that we're never not together.
Beautiful. I have a feeling my sound is not good again. Can you guys hear me okay?
That's better.
Ah, boy, I think my computer has just been working way too hard. And Jude, you were muted, I think, as you were finishing something you said. Did you want to unmute?
Yeah, I can't remember now, except that I was feeling to add joy to all the love and gratitude that we feel for each other. And I
Yeah.
said that we're never not together.
Yeah. Beautiful. And it is, you know, as Jane was saying, you know, it's not easy, right, in the face of all we're facing right now. And that's why we have this intensive. That's why we're coming together so that we can feel our collective coherence. And that helps us to find it more easily, to attune to it. And anytime that we find ourselves out of coherence, the moment that we notice it, that we're pulsing the field with something other than our love and our care, that's the moment where we get to choose. And I know for me, tuning back into this community, tuning back into all of the other people on the planet who are choosing to be a coherent presence, allows me to then be supported to come back more easily to that place, right? So we can touch into this field at any time. I'm also going to share my screen to show you the islands of coherence, because we created a space, right? Not just these calls, but a space that is like our island of coherence, where we can come and we have access to all this material, where we can listen to it again. We can find out about Jude's work. We can find out about our other presenters. We can get those links to Kristin if we didn't get them in the chat, right? There's a place where we can keep coming back. And I want to show that to you. But before I do, I brought on our friends from Coherence Hotspot, but they're not here anymore. All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen. If you just stay for a few announcements. One, I put a link to a survey in the chat. And I want to say that we have some new partners, and I'm going to share my screen so we can actually just go some places together. So you can see there I am on the screen, right? Because that's in the Islands of Coherence, where people are actually watching this and participating in a chat. And you can see that on these pages for every one of the days, there's information about our presenters. If you open up the show more, you're going to find all the links that I've been putting in the chat, so you don't have to scramble for those. And as you can see in the sidebar here, there is a survey, and we have new partners with New Story and the Global Awakening Tracker, and they're going to be asking questions every week of the community, so that we can start to see ourselves, right? We know our age groups, we're starting to see each other on maps, we're asking ourselves questions so that we can begin to see the clusters of coherence that we are becoming. And it's important to get that feedback. And also on our research page, we'll be putting how many people came on the app and what was the level of coherence that we added on that day, so we can start to get some real-time feedback. I put videos on this page. There's a couple of Jude's on here. I put Water is Life, the actual one with music. I have something from the afternoon session with Cornflower. So you have some things to come back and spend time with. The recordings from Greg Braden and Marsha Lefferts from last week, and all of the ones from the Global Coherence Day are all here on the site. And there's a page for each one of the days, so you can go back and find all of that information. And this is going to be available for us for the next few months, because we're going to need to touch back into the energy we generated today. We're going to need that, and here it's going to be. You can see that on the Islands of Coherence, we had our Global Coherence Day. If you click on any of these links, you'll find access to all of the people who participated back then. And I'll just say, for those of you who were on our Global Coherence Day and you heard Cornflower, right? He made a recording of all of the music that he played during the session, and he's made them downloadable for us. So if you clicked on his picture, you would go to his page where he's made that all available. So definitely check that out. The other thing is that we have profiles on here. And as you can see, there's a lot of little gray faces without pictures. And if we were to go in and everybody would add a picture to that, we would start to see this cluster of coherence that we are. So I really want to encourage you this week to enter in and put something in there and share something about yourself. And we also have some forums, and you could share about your projects, because one of the things that we need to do is begin to synergize our efforts, right? So there's one thing to be together and do these pulses and share our coherent energy and pulse the planet, but it's also wonderful if we can start to find our teammates and we can start to synergize our energy. So please use the tools that we've created for you here in the Islands of Coherence. Because we poured a lot of love into that, and it's really important that we have a place where we can go and find all of the resources that we need. And I just got a volunteer who's going to come, and they're going to cut all of the sessions up into small little pieces so that you can actually come back to a library of clips that'll make it easy for you to find out exactly what it is that you need. And then one last sharing of the screen with Zoom, you have to go back. We do have an integration lounge that's happening next, and I'm going to put the links again in the chat for you. We invite you to come. When we open our hearts at this scale, it's really nice to spend a little time to connect with other people who have been in the session and to take some time to integrate. And I really want to invite you to be kind to yourself today so that you can really integrate this much heart opening and really like bring it and ground it into yourselves. Go for a walk outside, be in nature, connect with Mama Gaia, feel the water, put your feet in some beautiful water. All of those things are helpful. And definitely take the survey for us so that we can see some things about ourselves and learn more about this cluster. And then later today at 4 o'clock, we're going to have Roland McCready and Joe Dispenza are going to join us. And Cornflower is going to be our musician, who's very much fun. And they are going to be talking about the coherent heart-brain interactions, much like Greg Braden did for us last week. And that should be a really fun dialogue. These two men have been approaching coherence. Roland from the heart, Joe from the brain, and they're going to meet in the middle and they're going to share some of their research and some of their experience. So I hope that you'll join us for that too. And let's see if Dirk and Hillary are on. I wanted them to go ahead and introduce their thing. I might need to go find them one more time. Thank you all for staying on through the announcements, and I hope that you will play in the field with us and use the Islands of Coherence for your benefit. So I don't see them, so I'm just going to put the link in the chat one more time. And this is to our hotspot integration lounge. And if you head over there in a few minutes, we'll be right there to support you. And two other things are happening today. We have Global Days of Unity that have some events, and I'm putting some links for them. And tonight there is the Saturday Night Alive. That's also, I'll put the link in the chat for that too. Oh, here we go. Here's Dirk and Hillary. Hi, guys.
Hi, we were there all along, but we were hidden.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and keep sharing the links. And if you just want to share something about the integration circle, and then we can meet people over there in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we're just love, listening to everything, to everybody. And thank you so much for, for all your contributions. The people this morning who contributed, beautiful. Thank you for all those who listened and watched. We as one of the founding partners, Hillary and myself, are with Coherence Hotspot, and we will be hosting the Integration Lounge. You want to say something about the Integration Lounge?
Yeah, it's just a really great place to come in and literally integrate some of all this beautiful science and heart that's being shared throughout these pulses that we're doing on Saturdays. And so it's a really beautiful way to connect and and share and yeah, and prepare for the afternoon sessions as well.
Yeah, preparing about the afternoon sessions, is Coherent Hotspot is all about really being actionable. And so we continuously ripple coherence out in the field from places all around the world. And that might be also something that you find yourself into when you join the after party or the coherence integration lounge, is where we can maybe learn how to integrate this in our daily lives, because that's really important. It's beautiful to come together and now integrate it, because this is the way where we have the most impact on the field. So we're very much looking forward to seeing you and connecting with you very soon.
Great. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to go to gallery view. I think if I'll stop the spotlight so we can see everyone. Jude, again, thank you so much. Jane, Kristin, beautiful session. Claudia, thank you, everyone. What a powerful session of beautiful, heart-centered women holding the space. And for everybody that joined today, we can't do Pulses without you. Really, it really takes us all coming together to have this kind of an experience. So bless you all. Thank you. See you over in the lounge. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you all.